Hey guys, Will here with W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2023 Kia Telluride SX X-Line.
And a big thanks to David at Century Kia in Tampa, Florida for making this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and as for David.
And as most of you guys probably know by now, the Telluride has been one of the best-selling mid-size crossover SUVs since its release back in 2020. We get a facelift here for 2023, featuring a redesigned front fascia, a redesigned grille, headlights, and front bumper. We get a digital instrument panel too with dual 12.3-inch screens. Navigation and Wi-Fi hotspot are now standard among all trims. And speaking of trims, the 2023 Telluride now features the X-Line and X Pro trim levels, which are more rugged and feature a 5,500-pound towing capacity. All 2023 Tellurides are available in either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, featuring a 3.8-liter V6 8-speed automatic transmission. We get 8 different trim levels, starting with the LX at $37,000. The S is a couple $1,000 more. The EX starts at $42,625, and with the EX, you can get the optional X-Line package, which starts at $46,820, but features 20-inch black alloy wheels, tow mode, and a self-leveling rear suspension. The XX trim level that you see here starts at $46,825, which is also available in either the X-Line, which is a couple $1,000 more, or the X Pro for $51,220. The top of the line 2023 Telluride is the SX Prestige, which starts a tick under $52,000. But here we have the X-Line, the SX X-Line, which starts a tick under $50,000. What do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, immediately you notice that there's no more Telluride badging for the front end on the hood area. That's new for 2023 too. We do get updated badging out rear too, which we'll check out in 1 second. Updated front headlights with the daytime runners, which is a very clean look. We get a little bit of plastic over here on this non-functional vent, but I guess you can imagine what it would look like without the plastic. We have fog lights too, which are LEDs. Solid airflow for the radiator too. We're right next to the airport, so I'm sorry about the background noise, but hopefully you can still pick up my voice. Updated Kia badge too, with a forward-facing camera. No shiny chrome anywhere on this X-Line trim. We get that smoked material all throughout. Blue metallic paint is also new for 2023. I'll leave a link right here, show you exactly what the name of this paint color is. All new rims too. 20-inch rims here for the X-Line trim, wrapped in Michelin Primacy LTX all-season tires, dimensions being 245/50 R20. Plastic cladding surrounding it, so if you do take this vehicle off-road, should limit the rock chips pretty well. No shiny chrome either, just some brushed aluminum trim. Body color mirrors with the LED turn signal on them. Camera too. The glass fills up the entire frame. Blind spot monitoring on the glass. Black trim surrounding the window trim. Blacked out B-pillar. Smart access for the driver and the front passenger. Get a quick look at the window sticker for the 2023 Telluride SX X-Line V6 all-wheel drive. Midnight Lake Blue metallic paint color with a black interior. Standard features. You can pause, take a look at everything that will be coming equipped on a standard SX all-wheel drive. So still pretty loaded with features, but the X-Line also adds 20-inch black alloy wheels, X-Line exterior styling, of course, self-leveling rear suspension, as we mentioned, and tow mode options. $500 for the Midnight Lake Blue paint color, carpeted floor mats for $210, but after a $1,335 destination charge, total price sitting a tick under $51,000. Fuel economy is solid, 21 mpgs, 18 city, 24 on the highway. Out rear, the gas cap, we can see if it's pushed to open, it is, but we don't get easy fill, not a really big deal. We can shut this thing right up. Pretty dirty paint color. I should have ran it through a wash, but hopefully you can still pick up this beautiful Midnight Lake metallic paint. I'll take a step back. Hopefully you can pick up the side profile of this pretty aggressively styled SUV. We get black roof rails up top too. Updated taillights, full rear parking sensing, updated Telluride badging out rear too. Shout out Century Kia in Tampa, Florida for making this review possible. Hopefully you can pick up the daytime runners out rear for the taillights. I kind of wish they integrated the rear wiper with the spoiler a little bit better, like they do with some of their other models. Out rear, we mentioned the parking sensing, tow hitch, the exhaust tips. Hopefully you guys can pick up the rear suspension, but speaking of the exhaust tips, let's fire up this 3.8-liter V6 and hear how she sounds. All right guys, that was the sound of the 3.8-liter V6 sold by Kia for the 2023 Telluride SX X-Line, and it sounds pretty decent for what it is, making a healthy amount of power, 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this mid-size crossover SUV with all-wheel drive to 60 around 7 seconds, maybe a little bit quicker if you get a good launch, which is very respectable numbers. The intake is a little bit farther back in the engine bay, but there's a funnel which should suck in some colder air, and I'm definitely appreciative of the hydraulic struts. Aluminum stick connecting your two strut towers should help the handling quite a bit too. But what you see is basically what we get. We can shut this hood right up, take one more step back, get a good look at the front styling, redesigned front styling. But as far as the interior, also redesigned. Let's take a step inside and see what we get. So again, smart access for the driver and a front passenger. The door panel, soft touch up top. We get dual pane windows, genuine wood trim, aluminum beneath that with the aluminum door handle, 2-person memory seats, 2 Harman Kardon speakers on the door panel too. Gushy soft leather for the armrest, massive storage, auto one touch for all 4 windows, 4-way adjustable mirrors, solid storage down below. You're fitting like 2 or 3, maybe 4 footlongs if you stack 2 and 2 on top of each other. You can throw in a 12-ounce, maybe a 16-ounce water bottle to wash it down. The seats are quilted, contrast stitched, heated and ventilated leather seats. Great bolstering extensions too. This is an SUV. You got like sports car buckets in here with X-Line badging in the seats. 4-way adjustable lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift and slide with thigh support too. You can push the thigh support back and forth if you have longer legs. Before we step inside, we get an aluminum little door sill too, which is pretty cool and premium. But yeah, taking a step inside, we'll shut the door. Super quiet interior, engine start stop, and you can see everything fire right to life. Let's turn this volume down so we don't get hit with copyright. But of course, the first thing we notice are the dual 12.3-inch screens. We'll go into a little bit more detail on them in 1 second. The steering wheel is great, very thick, great 10-2 bolstering notch, 9.3 fits great in your hand, and you get 3 sets of spokes down below. So if you want to be reckless, use a 6 o'clock spoke with your hand on your lap, you can. Little stitch, faux stitching for the horn area. It's a pretty rubberized material, the horn itself. Not the most aggressive sounding horn, but people should still be getting out of your way. On the left side of the steering wheel, you got your volume controls with the skip right next to it, voice commands, AM, FM, and Sirius. You can answer and hang up your phone calls with favorites. On the right side, you have your lane keep assist with the radar cruise control. This adjusts your little infotainment cluster with the cruise control settings overall. So the infotainment cluster, right now we're looking at drive info. We can see since refueling, accumulated info, auto stop, and a digital speedo. That's pretty cool. Compass information, so the power distribution and tire pressure, which you have to be driving to see. Turn by turn or advanced safety features screen, and a digital speedo. My personal favorite to look at all times will probably just be the compass. That's pretty cool. On the left side, we have our speedometer, fuel tank beneath that, temperature outside, and our tachometer on the right with no red line, coolant temperature beneath that. To the left of the steering wheel, we have our interior brightness, tow mode, hill descent control, tailgate release, and traction control. The material surrounding it are hard plastic, fuse box, hood latch release. You can get a good look at your pedals, floor mounted accelerator pedal, and I like the aluminum outlines. No power tilt and telescope, but not a big deal. We get auto headlamps, auto high beams, and fog lights. On the right side, no rain sensing wipers, kind of would be expected on a top trim Telluride. The air controls or the air vents are outlined in aluminum. Genuine wood trim all throughout this dashboard. The dashboard itself, soft touch materials with some stitching in it too. The touchscreen, as we mentioned, dual 12.3-inch screens. We can check out the map. Super high resolution. The response is pretty good, not the best overall, but it does the job. You can move it around and it responds pretty well to your touch. Definitely no complaints. But the non-map screen, the screen itself, has excellent response. Not quite sure why the maps have a slight little lag to it, but not a big deal. The screen itself is excellent. You can see everything that is available for your screen. Okay, there you go. You can see what's available in the setup screen. We get vehicle, navigation, sound, like the bass, treble, and whatnot. All that adjustable right over here. My personal favorite to look at all times would just be the map, so we'll leave it there. Genuine wood trim beneath that, air vents which have aluminum beneath it, and I like how the air vents flow flushly throughout this interior. The knobs have a satisfying resistance to it, shortcuts if you don't want to go through the touchscreen, dual zone automatic climate control, heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats. That's a really appreciated feature. You can adjust the rear vents from the front controls, also appreciated. Wireless charging pad, USB-C, USB port, and a 12-volt. The gear selector controls the 8-speed automatic transmission. We don't get paddle shifters, but we get manual shift modes and the improper directions to upshift and downshift. You can check out the backup camera real quick. Really high resolution, guidance lines and trajectory with a 360, all super appreciated. We can adjust the different views. You get that's the current view that we're looking at. Okay, we have an over-the-top trailer hitch view and a blind spot view, so you don't have to worry about scratching your wheels against the curb, and a 360, just like the EV6, just like the Genesis cars. This is impressive. The 2023 Telluride also gets the digital key 2.0. But other than that, we can throw this thing right back into park and it immediately returns us to our home screen. Behind the gear selector, we got the drive mode selector. We're currently in comfort mode. There's also sport and smart. We'll start the review off in comfort, transition into sport, just see what the differences are, and we have our all-wheel drive 4x4 locking center differential. You can turn off the auto start stop, auto hold, electronic parking brake. You can turn off your parking sensors too and access your camera at all times. The materials for your knee will often hit is pretty hard plastic for the outside, but it's got like a nice stitched material to it, which makes it feel a little bit more premium. Cup holders, you got these square shaped cup holders with pushy things to keep your drinks in place. You can get a good look at your key for the 2023 Telluride, and very nice. You also get engine start stop on the fob. In front of the cup holders is a little square cutout. It's a good spot for a key or any car accessories. Gushy soft for the armrest, very comfortable spot for your arm. Space inside is massive. You're fitting at least 4 2-liter bottles of soda in there. There's an additional USB-C port in there as well. This little cubby is also super spacious. You probably stack like 6 iPhone Pro Maxes in there. The glove box, we can pull the latch. It is damped, lined with felt, and pretty large, very wide. I would expect you to fit at least 25 license plates in this glove box. Probably fit 2 pairs of shoes too, thanks to that really impressive width. The materials outside are hard plastic, to be expected. We get an auto dimming rear view mirror. It's not frameless, but we get 3 garage home link settings on it. The sunroof or moonroof is a panoramic. We have twin panels of glass, one in the front, one out rear. We'll check them out in 1 second. We can open it up simply by pressing this button for the front, and the rear apparently also opens up. We'll see what this does because it does say rear. You press this rear button, nope, never mind. So that's just for the shade. Okay, but we can poke our way out of here. It's a beautiful day in Tampa, Florida. It's sunny and about 84 degrees. We can shut this panel of glass right up. We'll leave the shade open so when we hop out back, we can see how much light is brought into the cabin overall. But that's about it for the front seat of the 2023 Telluride SX X-Line. Let's check out the back seat, see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the material. So up top, we get soft touch materials and a sunshade. Same materials overall as up front. Wood trim with aluminum beneath that. Auto one touch, 2 speakers for the Harman Kardon sound system. Gushy soft armrest, very solid storage, and down below, you'll fit an additional foot long, maybe 2 if you stack it on top of each other, or a 12 or 16 ounce water bottle. Additional door sill as we step inside. Captain's chairs out rear, which are quilted and perforated. They're not heated or ventilated, but still beautiful seats. We can take a step inside. I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I have a ton of space. We can also recline the seat. This is actually the farthest back that it goes, but I still have at least 4 or 5 inches of overall knee room, headroom. I have at least 3-4 inches. The air vents blow directly into your face, and you have all adjustable climate control too. No heated or ventilated seats as you mentioned, but it's still nice to get the full 3rd zone climate. 2 cup holders, 2 with 2 USB-C ports, 2 hooks behind your front seats, mat pockets behind both the front seats too. Armrest is pretty wide, soft material. We have that additional panel of glass, which is massive. Ton of light brought into the cabin too. The interior light, as soon as we find it, there we go, is LED. Nice. The plastic probably makes it a little bit tougher for you guys to see, but hopefully you can still pick it up. We'll hop out into the 3rd row, see how much space is offered back there. So pressing this button, seat shoots forward. We'll lift this 3rd row seat up simply by pulling this latch. Not the easiest to do. I probably should have taken care of this before starting this review, but anyway, we figured it out. Taking a step inside, it's nice that we get these little plastic cutouts, which makes the process a lot easier. Taking a step in, just like the Palisade, pretty easy process overall. Put the seat back where it was. Solid space. I have plenty of room for my knees. Headroom, I have at least 1 inch. Air vent blowing directly into your face. The interior light also LED. Very cool. Hard plastic for the materials, but we get a USB-C port, cup holder with some storage in front of it. Yeah, no complaints. Additional speaker back here too for the Harman Kardon sound system. It's impressive. I would definitely have no problem sitting back here, even for long trips. I have plenty of footroom, legroom, headroom. Yeah, the materials may not be the best, but you can definitely have full-size people back here and they shouldn't be complaining too badly. We press this button one more time, the seat shoots right forward. We can hop out of here, which is also a pretty easy process. Kia did a great job with this Telluride. Very practical vehicle for all the passengers. We can shut this door right up, check out the cargo space, and then take this thing out for a drive. So underneath the U, we have our tailgate button. The tailgate is electric. The space with the seats up, we'll move these floor mats out of the way, is still pretty solid, and you got some secret storage too, which is a very deep cubby, and I recommend removing this cubby if you plan on keeping the 3rd row seats up consistently. So you'll get an additional couple feet of cubic space, or you can just hide this away, put some secret stuff in there if you would like. To drop the 3rd rows, you simply pull this latch and push the seat Forward, the floor mats are a little bit in the way, but hopefully you can still pick up the cargo space. It is massive. You can fold the rear seats down too, electrically with the buttons, 12 volt beneath that too. And I'd expect you to fit up to an 80, maybe even an 85-inch TV back here. Very massive cargo space. You can press this button and the tailgate closes right up. It gives you a second, so you don't have to worry about getting doofed in the head necessarily. But we'll walk around this all new, updated, facelifted 2023 Telluride SXX line one more time. It's a really nice SUV, and with this midnight blue metallic paint color, it really pops, especially with the black rims. But that's about it for the inside and outside of the 2023 Telluride. Let's take it out for a drive. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2023 Kia Telluride SXX line. Let's take it out for a drive. And the first thing I notice, just like with most of the new Kia and Hyundai cars, the steering feels very on center and it's well weighted. We're only in comfort mode. We'll throw it into sport at some point in this review and see what the differences are. But in comfort mode, the steering still feels pretty solid. All right, guys, taking a step out here. As you see, we get the blind spot cameras too. That's a great feature, especially on the highway. Well, third throttle. Yeah, not the most low-end punch, but yeah, of course, once you lean into the gas pedal, the transmission will downshift and put you right into the meat of the power band. It is incredibly quiet in here. I'm talking with like a really low tone of voice because I really don't need to speak any louder. We get dual pane windows and active sound deadening, which has been increased for the 2023 facelift. Just like the 2023 Palisade, this feels very similar, just with different overall styling. And the brakes feel solid too. They're not the touchiest, so you don't have to worry about flying through the windshield, but they do what you want them to do. As soon as you get a chance, we'll take a step out into this multiple lane highway. All right, guys, taking a step out here. We'll lean into it once we're situated. We have all-wheel drive, but just to be safe, on the gas. Okay. Once you cross around 4,000 RPM, the vehicle really starts to pick up. Through the turn, the steering feels great, even in comfort mode, but you feel a little bit of body roll. To be expected, this is a 4,500 pound SUV, but it's still composed. It doesn't feel like loopy or anything through the turn. The steering helps you feel a little bit more connected. But just cruising along, again, unbelievably quiet. You don't hear any wind noise. The road noise is basically non-existent. We'll step out into the concrete road in 1 second, see how much the road noise picks up. But on dark asphalt, you hear just about nothing. All right, throwing it in a little quicker than we should. The brakes still feel great. Blind spot monitoring is great. Yeah, the body roll, there is some, but not much. The bumps, yeah, you don't feel them, you don't even hear them. Manhole cover, unbelievable ride quality, guys. We'll take a step out into this rough road and see how this vehicle changes up. We'll throw it in sport too. Okay, sport mode. The gauges change up. That's the first thing I noticed. Now we get like a white and red theme. The steering feels a little bit heavier, a lot heavier actually, noticeably heavier. Try an acceleration off the line. In sport mode, I'm not going to launch it or anything, but full stop. Oh, this start stop is annoying. We'll turn the start stop off. I tried to earlier, but I guess it didn't work. But anyway, on the gas. Okay. Quick shift. Not bad. We don't have to push it a whole lot farther than that. And on this concrete pavement, it's still super quiet. And ride quality wise, we'll purposely go over the bumps. This is one of the smoothest riding vehicles that I've driven on this channel in a long time. It's comparable to luxury vehicles that are significantly more expensive than this. All right, we got the roundabout coming up. We'll test out the body roll and turning radius. Brakes feel good, throwing in a lot quicker than we should. Yeah, there's definitely body roll, but it feels very composed. You wouldn't expect a vehicle in this size to feel so composed, and the turning radius is sharp. So if you take this thing off-road, it's not an off-road vehicle, but with the X-Line package, it's more rugged and capable. So barely on the gas. This is like a 10th throttle, and we shoot to almost 4,000 RPM. So the gas pedal is a lot more sensitive in sport. The steering is noticeably heavier in sport. So unlike most vehicles in this class, sport mode actually makes a difference, and a big one at that. I wouldn't recommend driving every day in sport mode because, as you see, we're going like 35 miles an hour. And we're over 2,000 RPM, so for fuel efficiency, it's just not the best. But if you can do like a smart mode or a custom mode where you have the sport steering or comfort engine-wise, I would definitely recommend doing it because the steering does feel a lot better in sport. But even in comfort mode, the steering felt solid. But what I'm most impressed about in this vehicle is just the overall isolation from the road. You hear just about nothing when it comes to wind noise, road noise, and the ride quality too. Fantastic. All right, we can test out this vehicle's real world turning radius turning around over here. And we'll step on the gas again. We're still in sport mode. Yeah, I can feel the active steering intervening. But turning radius, really good turning radius, about half throttle. Yeah, after 4,000, you can definitely feel the power picking up. But around 3,500, it does feel a little bit sluggish. But we can throw it back into comfort mode. No reason to be driving in sport the whole time. This is a comfort vehicle, it's more comfort oriented. Sport does make a huge difference. Driving around on this multiple lane road now at around highway speeds, we can test out this active steering. And I know I'm usually pretty scared using these features, but I know that Kia and Hyundai do a pretty good job with the active steering. As you see, there we go. Not even touching the wheel. I'm a little bit scared, but it's doing it for me. Okay. Cool. We'll turn that off before I get a heart attack. But yeah, so the active steering definitely works through the turn. The vehicle feels very composed. We'll throw it in one more time faster than we should. Close this review off. Okay, yeah, it's not the most confidence inspiring, that's for sure, but still stays relatively composed. But overall, if you're looking for a 3-row SUV, you want the luxury features and you want a luxurious feeling vehicle, but you don't want to spend more than $50,000, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2023 Kia Telluride SX X-Line. You don't maybe not necessarily need to go X-Line because the SX trim level still gets a 20-inch rims. They're not the same style rims, but they still get 20-inch rims, and it's about $3,000 cheaper without the X-Line trim. But either way, it is a beautiful vehicle, all new for 2023 with the X-Line and X Pro. If you're looking for a more rugged 3-row SUV, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
And a huge thanks to Century Kia in Tampa, Florida for making this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below. And if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you guys, and I really appreciate the support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks that you can see reviewed on this channel. And I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope all of you have a great day.